$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Shema Rahim here, Master of the Covenant, Breaker 7 Seals. The American Empire. The end of empire. America Empire. That's what you're witnessing. There will be two world empires, Gog and Magog. And there's only two that you know of. America and Britain. That's the short side of chapter 20, Gog and Magog. They try to tell you Gog is Russia. Right there it says it'll be two. Out of a 1,000-year period, that's European history, Dark Ages. A resurrected empire kept them locked down for 1,000 years. This is clear. See, brothers and sisters, there's no excuse. Those people that don't come to this light and apply the light, there'll be absolutely no excuse. Because this is so clear. There's no light out there anywhere near as bright as this. I mean, this light, all those lights, well, they're not even lights. They pretend to be lights. But see, if you're blind, somebody can tell you there's a light. You just have to accept their word for it. And that's what the preachers are doing. They're telling you, well, it's accepted. See? Meanwhile, just put money in the basket. See, why don't you accept that there's some money in the basket? You understand? This is so clear. It can be proven clearly, simply. It's our track record of accurate reporting of future events that's taking place right now. It's totally clear. It follows scriptures 100%. You have to go on scripture 100%. The God, the messenger, son of revelation, then the messenger of the covenant. And right now, even those people that claim they would, you know why? They can't get around the fact that says you should seek the message of the covenant. And that Barakah is not him because he's not preaching the covenant. They say you should be seeking the message. It's right there. That's their claim of being behind Elijah, Malachi. That's their claim. Yet still, it's clear. You're supposed to be seeking the message of the covenant. See? So, they have no excuse. That's one of the things, that's one of the things that we do through the gods. Before we judge a people or take down people, we make it so clear that they're guilty. That's why it says in the Quran, everybody says that the judgment was just. The judgment was just. Because see, somebody say, oh man, I wonder why he did that. That's not just. They will say judgment is just because it's so clear. How could you miss that? How did you miss it? Farrakhan's, how do you know he was a devil when he was told, wasn't he? Well, yeah, but I don't believe it. Well, did you go check? Did you go check? You asked Farrakhan? We got more records saying it. Well, I didn't thought, well, that's your problem. So I lost a lack of knowledge. That's why light is knowledge. Knowledge is what the mind takes and transforms into the brain. We not transport, but brings it, transfers into the brain. See, inputs into the brain. Brain gets input from the mind. The mind gets input from the world around. You understand? And so the information is there. People lost for lack of knowledge. Why? Okay, if it's lack because you chose to be alive, that's your problem. If you lost because other people blocked it, then that's their problem. It's your problem too, really. But it's theirs too, because they're going to have to be responsible for blocking that light. And the judgment's going to be just, it's going to be terrible. They said only a few would make it. What's that prayer? It said it'd be so few men that 10 women would take hold of one man. 10 women would take hold of one man. Be fighting over one man. You're begging him, could they be his wives? That's what the Bible says. That's just so few. And why is that? Remember, it's not talking about the devils because they won't be around to have any wives. Tell me you. Why is that? When this is so clear. He said the truth be so clear in the fool with err, but you're erring. I mean, there's no information like this clear as this. You don't have sex on faith. And plus, you have to pay for it. You have to pay a dime for it. You have to do anything. Right? All you have to do is take the information and then apply it for what? To help yourself. Not help me. Help yourself. How can you go wrong with that? So you're either a demon or you're so weak-minded, because remember it's vectors. But the vectors combination between your vector and theirs. If you got a real weak, you may be original, but if you got a real weak mind, then you can't overcome their vector. No matter what I tell you, you're not going to be able to overcome it. Like if you're born mentally challenged, I could send you any college and university in the world. You may be original, but that's not going to matter. I can get all the best teachers, you're not going to ever learn anything. And we got people like that. See? And some of that is because of whether they're feeding us and all that kind of stuff, we producing defective children. Yeah, I didn't talk about that before, but some of us producing defective children. And so they can't do anything about that. That's why you went to the wilderness. We won't accept them either. There's children, they're defective, we don't accept them. Now we're going to go out and reject them directly? No. Because by definition, the criteria is you have to come to this level of knowledge. You have to climb that ladder. If you can't climb the ladder, I don't care if you're male, female, old, 9, or 1,000 years old, or whatever you want to call yourself. You can't climb the ladder, that's just it. That's it, period. Because you won't be anything in the new world. You won't have to understand. You'll be totally lost. Because it's going to be a world of mathematics. A world of mathematics. This world is a world of mathematics too. It's not just totally on the conscious level, because they'll not apply it to how the universe, how to apply it themselves. But still, the reality of mathematics, or just computers mathematics, your cell phones mathematics, all the stuff you do it's all based on mathematics. It's just that they don't understand. Most of it's theoretical. They don't know how to apply it to themselves personally. They know how to use mathematics. Now the Greeks know how to use mathematics in the past. They had a form of mathematics. But that's the criteria. You have to get in the Lamb's Book of Life. The only way you get there, you have to climb that ladder. Get that angel. That's it, period. Case closed. And I'm going out of my way, and I'm not going to say it's out of my way because I have no issues doing it. It's just an extra push. They still have to climb that ladder. Still have to climb that ladder. And from my perspective, right, I have to give a little extra push because they got other response. Because they still take care of this nation, ain't they? Still feeding the children, they still delivering the children, there's different things, right? So that's it, right? So that gives the males an unfair advantage because, it wouldn't be if it was out there help change the diapers and everything else too. We know we ain't doing that. Okay? So, and that's on me, right? But still, no, I cannot protect them if they don't come to that level. I cannot protect you if you don't rise to that level. I can only give you a push and provide, some shelter for a short period of time. But I cannot protect you. Once this new reality comes in, I cannot protect you. If you can't deal with it, that's on you. That's the level that's the level the mind's going to be on, right? And all things new. thinking mathematically. And I don't see too many people, I don't see anybody do it actually. So you're going to get a helping hand on that. Because actually the sister's going to, but the brother's going to help hand too, because Master Farmer's going to give you a big helping hand. He's going to put some fire on you, and fire will move you. It shuts down this reality. Major blow to it, bam. Cripple it. Okay. Break that vector that's holding you down. Break the power of it. So now if you had the power to rise up, they put a balloon under the ground, right, underwater, you take the foot off, it's going to come out. But if it's that deflated, it don't matter, take the foot off or not, it's going to just lay there. Maybe the balloon was deflated. But you understand, brothers and sisters, I don't know if you understand or not. So those clowns out there with that BS, they're not bothering me. I see them, they run around crazy, frantic. All of a sudden they got fire all over the YouTube now, right? They're trying to give kind of credibility. They don't show everything. It doesn't matter. I don't care what they show. You're going to get around the fact as far as the devil. Pure and simple. I don't hear anything else beyond that. There's nothing, no, God, well, I don't hear anything. It's nothing you can tell me to get around that one. Now, if you believe anything what Master Muhammad said, Elijah Muhammad said, there's nothing you can tell me to get around that. He's not Abraham's seed, so that covenant doesn't apply to him. That's why it says, Daniel said, he despised the covenant. It doesn't apply to him as far as the devil. You know, it's fine, no devil as far as a light-skinned Jamaican. Well, that's not the story Farrakhan was telling. I'm pretty sure he never told Elijah Muhammad's father was the devil, because that didn't come out until after Messenger was departed. And in fact, right, I'm the only one really pushed it, but he actually made an interview where he stated, he said his father's parents, not his mother's parents, father's parents were white Portuguese Jews. White Portuguese Caucasian Jews. You got him saying it. I know he wouldn't reveal that while Elijah was around, because anywhere in the world Elijah would have put up with that one. So he made that expose himself. I mean, he figured he's safe to say that, because it doesn't matter who created you in the womb, no matter who your father is, mother. Why do you need sperm and eggs then? God made you in the womb, and they still pushing that bullshit. But it says Abraham's seed. You know what seed means? Apple seed is apple seed, orange seed is orange seed. You can't mix the two up. Apple seed will never produce an orange ever. And once you never produce an apple ever, it's impossible, it can't happen. And you are the seed. You started out as a seed, as a sperm. Your father carries a seed, period. So you are what your father is, period. There's no question about that. Now, if you can show me different, I'll give you $1,000 right on the spot. Prove to me that's wrong. That's not biology. Now tell me something. Tell me how God overrides that process. Show me a scripture where it says it does that. Tell me what overrides that process. Where it doesn't matter who your mother and father is. You know my seed in there, right? Ancestry. Why are you talking about that if it doesn't matter? It says your seed. He says your seed. Well, he's not Abraham's seed. So he's not following covenant. And plus, it wasn't his parents, right? I mean, his seed, it was his parents that brought about the Holocaust. His parents that oppressing everybody. You see, because his daddy, the devil's, that's his dad. He was the one doing all this. But see, you had that conflict between the demons and them. See, so you remember the movie, I saw Django, that Kevin, what his name was, right? Steven or whatever. You see how he was acting towards him? Because he was part of the family. He was a demon. He's probably was, which comes to make what that guy's got, he probably was his brother. I mean, he said it like it was his family. He sat back and everything, everybody, it was totally accepted. And he hated niggers. See, that's a demon problem. Because, Daddy, how come you don't accept me, Daddy? I'm your child. Yeah, but you a nigga. Yeah, but Daddy, you're still my daddy. That's the problems they have. And they get mad at Daddy because Daddy won't accept them. And Daddy won't accept them because they're black. Plus, socially, you can't go around telling people a nigga's his son. So, they get perks. They be house niggas. They can work in the house. They're still niggas though. But they can work in the house. They don't have to work in the field because that's his children. Those are the perks they got. Unless they acted up. That's close they got. But you saw that movie, his Kevin, what his name was? Right? He was family. He wasn't no say, he was family. DiCaprio, right? That was his brother. And that's why you see in the so-called civil rights and everything, you had two directions. You had the Elijah Muhammad direction that was the original people followed that direction. You had a demon direction. One wanted to separate and one wanted to get close to Master. Because man, I'm one of you. I'm your children. You're my daddy. And so they're fighting to get in. I want to live with you. I want to sleep with my brothers and sisters. See, they're my family. I want to marry one of them. They're my family. I want to be with them. I'm tired of these. I want to get rid of. I want to get this curse of blackness off me. I want to marry one of my relatives, one of my devil relatives. So I have children that don't have that curse on them. Oh, you think that doesn't matter? You think they don't look at it that way? To them, they know that black's a curse. The curse is stopping them from being what mass like they want to be. Being all taking full part of this whole reality. They don't think they see that? Some of them lighting themselves up. I mean, you got the demons over in Arabia. They were big with that. Arabians don't turn white already. You got so many demons. You got, the demons all over the world. I never talked about that really deeply. Let me speak to that for a minute. I didn't mean to do that today, but I'm sort of brought it up. America, I talk about a gravitational vortex. America is the gravitational vortex. It's like a magnet. It's drawing demons and devils from all over the planet here. That's one of the things that, I told you, we planned this whole thing out. And we turned everything to our advantage. Turn ourselves from coal. It takes a lot of pressure to turn ourselves from coal into diamonds. Plus, putting way over here so we can draw all, I told you, only place going to be nuked is America. So we're going to bring as many demons and devils over here as possible. Because you say, why are the people they drawn here? Because they have the same mindset. I'm talking the Arabs and everybody else. What the hell come here for? Even the Indian, what they come? If you had a real original mind, a righteous mind, you wouldn't want to come over here. You want to come within me and my house's place. Why would I come over here? We run around naked and transgender, all this stuff. Why would you want to be around that kind of stuff? Dogs, and people got dogs running in their house and all that kind of stuff. I've never seen a movie yet, an African movie with a dog in it. Never seen one yet. I may miss something. I haven't seen one because that far as I know, it don't happen. They don't bring dogs in their houses. They have dogs. They don't bring them in the house, that's for sure. The worst people who do that are Europeans. So this is like a magnet that's drawing them. So when the end comes, boom, we get like rid of a lot one shot. Because once that war starts, they're gonna close the door. If you ain't in, if you in, you ain't getting out. If you're out, you ain't getting in. Well, they might let somebody in, but you ain't getting out if you in here. They're gonna lock. Remember 911? They locked up. They're gonna lock it up. So those people here right now, well, they bullshit. They fuel for the fire. They're fuel for the fire. And the only thing that can protect you if you go into tribulation is that you have to have an asbestos suit, 5 pills, because you're going to be walking through fire. And do you understand that? You're going to be walking through the fire in the furnace. And I won't be with you. I mean, there was a possibility. Daniel said, you know, and Angel said, no, but I'm not going to do it. Because if you do that, that's the only way you're going to make it. Because remember, when you put gold in, you put the gold to burn off the impurities, but all the gold is impurities, then the whole gold won't get burned up. You put the gold in to burn off the impurities, so it'll be pure gold. But the whole damn gold is defective, impure, then it's all going to melt, it's all gone. And that's what it is. Because when you come out here, you're going to be right. And if you ain't right, those that make it, they ain't right. I told you what happened to them. Everlasting shame and appallment. They fuel for the fire forever. Fuel for mockery. I don't know if I should say this. The other thing is, you know, God can't lie. Why? God made liars. I mean, he can't make something he can't be himself. Or he can imagine it. He can be whatever he want to be. He may have set up some emotion, make me shed blood. What was that about? The point is, he disciplined. This was the difference. He disciplined his nature. He disciplined his nature. That's the difference. See? He won't like him, lie. He wants whatever. He disciplined his nature. That's the difference. You understand? So you tell what God can do, what he can't do, what he wants to do. They discipline his nature. And they can't discipline theirs. And we're the most disciplined people on the planet. Because we had the potential for it. Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, Empire. So we're going to do the math. You have to rise low to math, brothers and sisters. I'm saying you want to do it yet. But that's true. You have to master it to get through. If you get through without it, that means however you did it. But you're not coming through whole. Might as well not there at all. Back to that point I was talking about justice, right? You see what's happening right now in the world? Even right now, I got people saying, whatever happens to false judgment is just. It says rocks will cry out, justice. So everybody will say, yes, just. Everybody say, it was just, what happened? That's about to happen. It's going to be made clear in a few more days, because it says this gospel, it tells you connect the dots. It says this gospel means angel in Arabic, and when Jesus was talking, he was talking about the Revelation, that's the book he revealed. He says, this gospel will be preached in all the world. That's what they call Revelation, the gospel. Sometimes it's called New Testament, so-called New Testament. But it's still under veil, because it only can be unlocked by an angel. Because it is preaching all the world. That means it's going to overcome all resistance suddenly, and then it will come. What do you mean it will come? That means it brought about the end. It brought about the end. Because that truth, remember, truth is a force. Truth is the force of the time. Yeah, I hate to say truth is like this. Well, every action has an opposite reaction. That's a universal truth. But when I talk about truth, I talk about, is it in season? Is it in season? There's the truth. Make Mr. Shed Blood was in season. So it was the truth. Sunnism was not in season. So they weren't the truth. They were the jinn. It was a curse. But see, you never see it like that. You never thought of it like that. Because you think some ultimate positive truth. And the universe is constantly changing. Things change. And that effect right there tell you something that throws off right there. How can, if that's your idea is right, then that doesn't ever make any sense about how you going to have him in charge by God. This God is Satan is doing this, talking like this. But then why is the angels submit to him? It doesn't make any sense. The only way it makes sense is you have to say that God put somebody in charge going to shed blood. Why? Because that must be the season that's season for that. So the truth is based on the situation. What's the situation and the state of the universe at that time. Like I told you, the angel only lasts a short period of time after once we get home. Right? Once we're home, as firmly situated, and the apocalypse is over, the angel will be of no value anymore. It's already done its job. It's been everything till you got your mind back, so what value is it? Right? Unless there's some other value like the Quran, the value of the Quran, primarily right now, just recital. That's what was given. That's why I call it recital. That was part of the things back then was set up to make sure that Suleiman would get it. Right? Because it's part of the 5 pillars. It's required to develop your discipline. It's a technique to show you how to It's a technique to show you how to master your discipline, and that's definitely needed. Without that, we have a problem. Learn the angel, right? That gets your mind, but doesn't get your discipline. It's like uploading the angel doesn't get your discipline. You might need some discipline to learn to activate it, right? But it's not teaching you discipline. See, you get your mind straight so you can feed the correct information to your brain. But you need 5 pillars, that gives you the discipline. And so the Quran that was part of all those scriptures. Remember, because all those scriptures those scriptures was prepared for the message of the covenant. Angel the mind back. The Quran, the discipline. He knows how to use those things. But you didn't know what it was for. You had to still doing your little 5 prayers a day. That doesn't work anymore. If it works, how come it's not work for them? How can they have that victory in 5 years? If that works, how come it's not working now for them? See, that's the truth. If that's the ultimate truth, right? It should work all the time, right? If their idea, you got one truth that works all the time, then they should still be in charge, shouldn't they? They should still be in charge, shouldn't they? Because I mean, they got the Mecca, they got the language, they got the land, they got the Quran, right? They got the Prophet. That's supposed to be the ultimate truth according to him. And shit, nobody should be able to mess with them, right? They get ultimate power. That's the ultimate truth, right? They say it's ultimate truth, right? Then why is it failing now? Why has it been failing for 500 years? This truth is clear. They can't answer these type of questions. Because the truth knocks their brains out of falsehood. They're not getting brains out of who's getting their brains knocked out? Them. So if that statement is true, truth knocks the brains out of falsehood. Who's getting their brains knocked out? So it must be that Sunnis is falsehood. And if you say that's the truth, or it's true sometimes, is that how it works? My brothers and sisters. American Empire, N. Okay, look at this. This is a principle. You understand? Not that's your problem, though. It says, we're not here to convince you. If you get it or you don't get it. See? So my job is to take and get information. And you have to qualify. It says, many be called, only a few be chosen. It means he's choosing you, you ain't choosing him. He's choosing you. You ain't choosing him. Oh, he don't care if you come here or not. Mass time acceleration equals force. Universal. That's the truth always. That's the universal truth because it's the fabric of the universe. Mass time acceleration equals force. That's the truth all the time. That's the truth. Absolute truth. There's absolute truth. Mathematical absolute truth. Now seasonal, that's work forever. Always has worked, always will. In a pressure field, all force is equal. There's another truth. Or if the force is not equal, you get a current. What is a current? A current is a corrective force that was the current to put it back stable again. You have a lake that's quiet and everything else, right? That means pressure is equal at every point. Force is equal at every point. But if you say current, that means, oh, well, this point is, there's more pressure in this point. Just like if you open the windows in the house, right, you get a breeze go through, because one side of the house, the pressure is lower than the other side, so now you get an adjustment. So the air is pulled to the other side, adjusted to pressure equal both sides, then the current is gone. The breeze is gone. That's what current is. It's a corrective force in a pressure field to make sure everything's equal again. Because once everything's equal, everything settles down and it's quiet all over again. See? That's what current is, just corrective. Because all force has to be equal in a pressure field. So the difference is the structure. They say mass times acceleration. And the force is 12, and your mass is 12, then your acceleration will be 1. 1 times 12 is 1. If the mass, if it's opposite, if the mass is 1 and the acceleration, that'd be 12. It means you accelerate you faster because you got a simple mass. The lower the mass, the weaker the structure, the greater the acceleration. Okay? And that's what happened. We gave, by taking and making Yaku's graph creation, their simple structure, they have more acceleration than us. That means they think faster, act faster, and everything else, because they had a weaker structure in this period of time. But a weaker structure, as energy increases, right? They move fast because they have more, right? But the point is, a weaker structure. Remember, you're in the pressure field now. So as the energy increases in the pressure field, the pressure increases. But you got a weaker structure. So sooner or later, even though you move faster than everybody else, you're gonna be crushed because you got a weaker structure. You can't withstand the pressure in this pressure field. I hope you understand these things, brothers and sisters. That's why those are being crushed now. They move faster, they think fast, and like all this stuff, right? But the point is, they're a weaker structure, and the pressure is increasing. Universe is contracting. So therefore, it's crushing them. Nothing they can do about it because they have a weaker structure. We have the strongest structure in the universe. The problem is, we don't use it because they taught us to act without discipline. So that's another story to get. I'm not going into detail here. But anyway, the difference in structure is what they call mass, M. But 7 times 10 is 70, and 2 times 35 is 70. Right? So one got a complicated mass of 35, one got a simple mass of 7. Both equal 70, but the one 7, he got like, look how much fast moving around, 10 times, 5 times faster than the other one. So it means they get faster than everything else. But as the pressure increases, their simple structure after a while crumbles under the pressure, crushed under it. Both equal in force, energy, yet different in structure, mass. If you understand principle, you might as well just close up and just go, because that's all, everything is built on that basic structure. Holocaust, false vision of Texas American empire. Let's do the math, brothers and sisters. Now I'm going to give a simple illustration here. I hope you can follow it. I'm saying you got gold and you got shit. Now I'm classifying the gold. I'm saying on the gold, if you got gold, right, now what I'm referring to, right, is your brain. Now your brain, your mind, the mind you have, right, cannot be greater than the brain. Because the brain won't be handled. If you got a real simple hardware, and your motherboard in your computer, but you got Windows 10, 20, 30, it's not going to do anything because the motherboard just can't handle that level. You got a version 1980 motherboard, and you got a 2000 operating system. It won't do it any good. You can't handle it. It's too complicated for it. And see what I'm saying? Same thing with your brain. So you can't get a mind. Your mind has to be either lower or equal to the complexity of your brain. You can't go above it. Otherwise, it's useless. It's useless. Okay? So what I'm saying, I'm trying to get some of the qualities. If you got a gold brain, right, you can have a gold mind. And this kind of qualities you have. You have peace, creativity, harmony, love, cooperation, inspiration, truth, healing, confusion. Those are attributes of a gold mind. But if you got a shit mind, which is lower structure, weaker structure, right? Conflict, mischief, shed blood, right? Conflict, destructive, death, divisive, hate, resistance, oppression, lies, killing, mischief. That's the level they're on. So you got a shit mind. Now I gotta be careful that because I say mind, people say, was he talking about mind or was he talking about mind? See, that's a damn stupid ass language. So I'm talking about mind, F-I-N-D. Yeah, F-I-N-M-E. Right? That's a gold mine. But see, that'll confuse you with this, right? Because this is a gold mine too over here with a D. I'm trying to avoid that confusion here as much as possible. I'm talking about mind, M-I-N-D, right? Shit mind or gold mind, right? Now that's what I'm qualified. I'm just getting some basic one, so you understand what I'm talking about. So if you got a shit mind or shit brain, a low structured brain, then I say that's a shit relative to the gold. What's gold relative to that? This was shit. Because when you want peace, that conflict, right? Life is opposed to death, right? Inspiration, oppression, hate, love. See? Okay, understand that. Hope you understand that. You see here, it's original people, original black man, original black woman. Look, gold mines. Gold mines. Go here before we came here. But the Europeans had shit mine. How do we know that? They're shit mines. We're gold mines. Let's look into their history. You see here? This is a 1,000-year period. What was they doing? Killing, mischief, shed blood. Wasn't building anything. It was a jungle. It was that called abyss. Disease, war, rape, murder. All those attributes I was telling you about. Confusion, tyranny, betrayal, lies. That's what all going on in the Middle East. When they was all Middle Ages, while they was all by themselves up in Europe, fighting each other constantly, conflict, fighting and everything. So they had a shit mind. Remember, they was isolated by. So that was. They weren't affected by anybody else's. It was locked up by the Arabs, Abraham's Islamic Empire, but they wasn't in there influencing them. They wasn't in England and France and all that plus, right? They were in Spain, but they wasn't in there. So they wasn't under influencing. There were no vectors coming in influencing. That was totally them. That was their nature. That was their nature. Shit mind. That's well, left alone, that's what they was doing. You understand that, bro? Left alone, that's what they was doing. Not affected by anybody. But what was we doing during that time? See, we had gold mines. We built pyramids, we building stuff, right? We in Africa, men and women working together, right? We didn't even have major wars and all that kind of stuff going on then. I mean, you said a movie with Shaka Zulu. The idea of war was is that if they had conflict between two tribes, they would get together and then they would dance. And who was the best dancer is the one that won the argument. No shed blood. I mean, they were shocked when Shaka Zulu came along. And that was something that's made up. And that's the way it was in Africa. You didn't have any major wars and that kind of stuff. You had building and peace, prosperity. How do you know that? Because the point, if they came more slaves, they weren't slaves that's intelligent. I mean, if you want to get you an ox or a horse, you don't get one that's broken down and sick. You want to get one that's healthy and strong. And who was the strongest, healthiest people on the planet? That's why they want us slaves. They try to enslave their own people. It wouldn't work. These are absolutely facts. They call them indentured servants. They interred their own people and they couldn't get them to work. Remember, when they was in Europe, they called them plebs and serfs. And they were lazy. It was hard to get them to work. And then when they came over here, right, first they tried the natives. They couldn't get them to. What part of the problem was they said it was lazy, is that they was on home turf. So it was hard to hold on to them. They would escape. And they had plenty of friends and tribes and everything else they could run to. Right? And it was hard to identify because how you identify them from any other so-called native. So that didn't work. So they tried indentured servants. Look up indentured servants. That means they tried to enslave, brought people over from Europe and then have an indentured servant. So they make them work. So they didn't call them slaves. Called indentured servants. See? That whole slave terminology and stuff, that's a whole nother story I talk about all the time. Because you're a slave right now, you still know it. But since that's what that was. Let's see what's going on here, but I was just going to have to... okay. That's what it was. So, like I said, they would, enslavement. And so anyway, that's what but in Africa they was doing that. They was following their nature over there. Africa was following their nature. It was building at peace, so forth. I just mentioned that, so let's move on. So they had gold mines. MIND. They had shit mines. Left alone. Remember, they were separated. Wasn't interaction. There was interaction between Spain and that, but what they do? They civilized Spain. That's civilized. In fact, they call that the Golden Age. That's whole different. When we were the vectors, primary vectors, Spain was the best country in Europe. They were civilized. They was taking baths. That's why when in 1492, Columbus came out of Spain. They come out of France. They come out of Italy. Came out of Spain. Because Spain was more progressive. And then when they finally defeated the Moors in 1492, Spain was the most powerful country in Europe because they had education. They had the shit, all the technology and everything else. How they got that from the black people, the Moors. See the difference? When our vectors was influenced, it lifted them up. But when we was on their vectors, it forced us down because they shit vectors and we go vectors. So we actually add value to Spain. While when we had us under control, right, they took value away from us, turned us into shit. When we was turning Spanish into, that's why do you think everybody speaks Spanish over here? Because Spanish came over here. They was the one to control first. Hispanics, they was the primary. Why? Because the Arabs influence on them for almost 700 years. Lift them up. Because they had gold mines and they took and transformed it and added value. You understand these things, brothers and sisters. Because the opposite happened to us. Once we got their control, did they turn us better? No. In the shit. So let's look at this, right? And that's what we was doing. While they was out there warring and killing each other, one taking baths, disease and everything else. What is disease here? Healthy people, healthy, strong, educated. Timbuktu, one of the major universities in the world, one of the best in Africa. See? This is what we was doing. Okay, let's go on. And then, boom, they got a hold of us. They got a hold of us. And now, everybody gets the same amount of energy. I told you that. So say you get $1,000, $30,000, put in terms of dollars, right? $1,000 worth of energy per day. Every individual gets that much, right? And say you got after they're all done, you got 300 disposable. I'm oversimplifying this, right? So the thing is, that's how much you could use to control something else. Remember? You got so much energy you need it for yourself. If we got any energy left, we had just enough energy to maintain ourselves. We have no energy for anything else. If we need 1,000 units of energy to maintain ourselves, and we only got 1,000, we had no energy for family, no energy for civilization, energy for anything. But we just have enough to maintain ourselves. And if you only get down 800, then you don't have enough to even maintain yourself. We got down that bad because they got control of us. We have enough energy to maintain ourselves. So the thing is, you understand that context. So the thing is, say you got, after that, or everything else, then you got 300 left. Right? So what they did was, remember, they got shit minds. So they gave us shit minds. They gave us shit minds because they got shit minds. They're in control over us. The quality. So remember all the things, oppression, when shit mind, oppression, rape, that's where they treat us. Like shit. The form of energy they gave us was shit. Because what they was doing to us was energy they was controlling us with. What kind of energy? Remember, the only they have to put it this way. It takes energy to control something. So they had 300 units per day of energy, right? Disposable income, so to speak, right? So, but it was shit. Took the form of shit, because that's the minds they had. Which was oppression, war, whatever, just did. Right? So that's the influence they had on us. They couldn't do any better. That's the mindset they had. So they had something under control, so the form of their control would be shit. Murder, rape, all the things I told you, they're attributes of shit. Right? And they get us. And remember, the transition has to be equal. Okay. If they force you to do something, there's how much energy they put. They can only get that much energy back. They tell us capitalism profit. See, I'm supposed to hold into that. There's a greater hole in that you wasn't aware of. Right? Every action has an equal reaction. So the reaction has to be equal to the action. The reaction has to be equal to the action. So if you take and force somebody to work, but remember, it takes forced energy to do it. So say you use 300 units, 500 units of energy to get them to work. Well, only thing you're gonna get back is 500 worth it back. You're really not getting a profit. The only difference is the quality that you're getting. You're still getting the same amount back. So that's why the more you gotta press more, but that means the more energy you gotta put into it. So you're not getting any profit from that. Your profit, no net profit. They say net, that means, just bottom line. But you're getting a quality profit, right? Because it was $1,000 worth of shit, but now it's $1,000. It's still net. It's still $1,000. It's still worth $1,000, but it's $1,000 worth of shit that you're giving, and you get $1,000 worth of gold back. It's still both worth $1,000. Both with the same amount. It's just that the quality is different. So when they put us through the hard class, the energy took them to put us through that. All they got back was the same amount of energy that they put in. It was a quality difference. Because they can't control how much energy we get. They can't control that. We can't control how much they get. Everybody gets the same amount. But they can affect the quality. And since they had shit minds, then the quality that we got from them was shit. Beaten, raping, murder, and everything else. But we gave back to them love, forgiveness. You see what I'm saying? Technology. I should have said that too. Because remember, that's technology is part of that. I don't think I included that. I think I missed that one. Technology. See? So, we're the creative people. They're not. See? Remember, they wasn't creating anything up there in Europe. They didn't create anything. Remember, they had to go around the world, learn to do math, learn how to build explosives, all that stuff. They wasn't building it. They had to get from other people. But they had to impress other people to get it. With their shit mind, they gave They gave people shit and they want to go back. That's the bottom line. How you look at it. See? And what's the goal? Oh, I want you to go. Right? And I'm gonna beat your ass and kill you and rape you and everything to get it, because that's the only way to know. Make me shed blood. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? But they didn't get back any more than they put in. It's just that the quality was different. So we gave back the quality that we have, right? Submission, patience. Am I making it clear for you, brothers and sisters? Like I said, if you're a good person, your response to things will be good. If you're a bad person, your response to things will be bad. It's just the way it is. That's just the bottom line. So that's the only way they can do. That's what they do. Is all they can do. But they want that. But they don't. They got shit mind. But they don't want. They don't want to live a shit life. So they go and take. They can't produce gold because they wanted to step in Europe. How can they step in Europe? It has democracy and all this. How can they step in Europe and do that? How can they establish democracy and capitalism and all that great things that America produced? Why didn't they step in Europe and do it? Why did they come over here to do it? Or if they had all that so great, how come they established that in Europe? Why did they go take all people's land and press up people and enslave? Why, if that was such a good idea, why did they just do it up in Europe? You see what I'm saying? Because what? They came out with nothing. They came out with disease and murder and rape. That's what they came out with. That's all they know. Because that's the shit minds they got. They came out with shit, looking for gold. Okay, let's take a little further about this. Okay. Get out of here. You see what happened? See, we transformed them to. Remember, I told you, the Moors transformed the Spanish, elevate them. Look up Spain, the so-called Dark Age. They didn't go through the Dark Ages like the rest of Europe. Look it up. The Moors had control. Moors what? Were black people, Muslims, out of Morocco. They don't want to tell you that. They were Moors, so-called Moors, another word for black. It wasn't like mixed, no. There were black people that was Muslim that came out of Morocco, and they ruled Spain for about 700 years. And Spain, they called Spain that's the Golden Age, because the people in Spain was living a peaceful life. Peaceful life. In fact, the Jews, all the Europeans, flee to Spain because they thought they was protected there, because Spain was so progressive, educated, disease-free. The plague didn't hit Spain. The black plague stuff that hit Spain. See, why? Because the Moors lifted them up because they was golden, so they gave value to Spain. But when they got over here, this is the opposite. We're Holocaust as opposed to the Golden Age, rape, murder. See what I'm saying? Because under their influence, when it was under our influence, it was lifted up. You understand? So then, what happens is that now. The goal is, they got all this technology, this creativity. All the creativity is coming out of here, all over the world. Every world just copying what they got from here. All the creativity coming out here because of us, but they don't want to give it credit to us. They say, oh, the Europeans are so creative. Why just here? Why just here? Why not the Germans? Oh, white folks over there, right? I mean, or Gauges or whatever. And same in England. How come they're not creative? How come innovation not come out of there? How can it only come out of here? Because we're the goose that laid the golden age. Golden age. Because it's come from us. A whole story about Joseph. They was about to die. The whole economy, everything was failing, economic, and he saved them because they didn't know what to do. It also the same story about what's it, Joseph? I forgot the other one I was going to mention. Right? Same story. Saved them. And then they enslaved his children as a result of it. You understand? They didn't know what to do. They would have died. And that Joseph, remember Joseph is supposed to be, the people enslaved in America supposed to be Joseph's children, his seed. That means the creator. Oh, that's the other thing I was talking about. It tells you, right, give you a hint. It tells that Pharaoh told us we couldn't, according to Scripture, you have to make brick, you need straw. So when you can't make you straw anymore, you have to make brick without straw. But you have to be creative. They give all these little hints. So that's what happened. They turned us. See what they did to us? They turned us into shit. Just like we turned expansion into gold, because that's the influence held them. But when they got actual, they turned us into shit like them, and we turned them into gold. So they got all this technology, they got all this military, all this stuff. That's coming from us. They didn't have it before. That's why everything's coming out of the music, all that stuff's coming out of here. We're the gold is producing, but they can't tell us. Because if we figure it out, then we might make some demand they don't like. That's why I want you to leave. Because if you leave, what will happen? See, then if everybody found that they're not creative at all. They're coming from us. But see what they did to us? And we're still producing gold for them today. Because remember, you got to keep fueling this. If you take your foot off that balloon, it's going to rise up. So if we still build that means they still got force in place that you may not see. You can't see the wind, but you can see the effect of the wind. That means these Democrats, Republicans, maybe you can look at our condition. Farrakhan trying to blame it on us. He's trying to say, oh, the leaves are shaking. I don't know why they're shaking. No, because the goddamn wind is blowing them. But Farrakhan tell you, no, man, something wrong with them damn leaves, man. So you be shaking and stuff. And that's why you're going to fall off that damn tree, because you're shaking. Why? You need to stop. You need to repent. You need to stop shaking up there. That's what he's saying to you. And we're not shaking because of the goddamn wind. But you're shaking. So we just are sinful. Yet all these devils around us, but they don't have no influence on us. Because he's one of them. Father's the devil. So you look at us, then you know who the people are that's affecting us. We're under that control. So you look at that and see, that tells you exactly who they are. They're wicked, they're devils, they're hoes, they're pimps, liars and murderers. That's the effect how it turns into shit. Because they're shit. And we turn them to gold. So they walk around, oh, see, gold, man, we gold, and look at all the technology we have and everything else. You see, they control our energy. They control the quality of our energy. So we get them, they give us the shit, and we give them the gold. They change the quality of our energy. Because they give us, right? Yeah. Remember, we give 300, you got 300 back. That's where consequence work. You give same thing, male-female relationship. You give her your male attributes, if you're the best, and she give her female attributes the best. Well, it's equal transfer. Equal transfer. She gives 500, you get 500 back. That's to keep the balance. Otherwise, it's misbalanced. Then you got negative energy, all that kind of stuff going on. The bottom line still comes out net, come out to equal. So if they're giving us 300, right? Because right now, look, we're under their control. They tell us how much what we can buy, what we can sell, where we can live, and everything else. They control the quality of it. They can't control the energy that we get, the amount of energy we create. They can't control the amount of energy we get the same much they get. They only control the quality of it. So they give us a shit. But they mad that we give them the gold. Because they can't get it. We can only produce it. And they can't. Understand that, brothers and sisters. Okay? So when you look at this, that's who they are. When you look at them, that's who we are. All this technology, all this cell phone, all this stuff, everything, that's who we are. See? Because they're coming out of ours. See? That's who we are. See? And this is who they are. Every action has opposite react. So look at the opposite. And see, when you see it react, look at the opposites. That's who's affecting who. You got everything thinking backwards. See? You guys thinking backwards. So this is who they are, what they claim we are, and who they claim they are, that's who we are. We're the masters. They try to play their God, or you put them on top of everything, because of us. What's going on, sister? You see here? No, this is another thing right here, right? This is that Cosby shit. See, he's no demon. He's like one of them. See, you give your children, because they're influenced, right? Here you are. You give your children gold. Love, all the attributes gold, right? What are they giving you back? Look at them. Get your shit back. Anger, mad, talk back and everything else. Because this fool right here, he's part of that. We give our children all this and we get this back from them. That didn't happen before this fool came along. Everybody traces back, even this woman she was talking, she traced all this back to the 70s. Because they turn on our children. It's all back to the false Israel, all that kind of stuff. They need to turn the volume. Okay? So just keep us divided, but go back to the cradle. Make sure it stops right back there in the cradle. Because our kids so divisive now, you can't talk to them about anything. They know more than anything you. And it wasn't before. When I was a child, you ain't do that. You wouldn't live very long. When the civil rights came, they started losing control over you. They said, let's get to the children. When civil rights movement came in, when they started losing control over you, so-called civil rights, they had two sides. That you had ones, the demons want to get close to the master, and Elijah wanted to get head away. That was the black folks get more energized. Got more energized. You had two paths. One going to take the energy in the devil direction, because that's the mind they have. And one going to apply in the original direction, because that's the mind they have. So one say, hey, man, I want to get the hell out of here. And I would say, I want to get close to the master, my daddy. And so they said, well, remember, they don't want to lose control of us. So, hey, go after these children. That's what he did. So you can't tell the children, hey, look at him. Oh, he give them love and everything else, and look what you get back. This is the devil's doing. That's going to change in a minute. That's why I'm going after the root. You see here? And Farrakhan's part of it. We ain't going nowhere. So what would the solution be? The obvious solution would be to stop that transition, stop that process, get away from it. Because they changing our goal to shit. So get away from it so we keep our goal. We don't want that shit. The obvious separation is to get the hell away. Pharaoh said we ain't going nowhere. The devil's the one. That's what Pharaoh said. Pharaoh said no, you can't let him go. And that's what Pharaoh said. Remember, he's one of them. Because the obvious solution, like Elijah Muhammad said, is get the hell out of here. So now they stop transforming your gold into shit that you even eating it. We was going out there and raising cattle and all this stuff for them. And they was eating steaks and whatever they was eating, right? Steaks and chops and whatever, right? Bacon, and what was we? We was eating shit. Shitlins. And then we so damn stupid. After we got a chance to buy our own stuff, we still buying it because they took the S off and put a C there. That don't change the fact it's still shitlins. Or called chitlins now. Just take the C off and put an S there, and they still sell at Walmart. So it's not still that's nothing stupid. They was feeding us shit by that. Well, but was preparing. How was they getting that? How was they getting that? Steaks and stuff. We was preparing the stuff for them, but we couldn't eat it. We was doing that stuff and cooking it for it too. Not only raising it and feeding it, and taking care of it, and slaughtering all that stuff for them, and we couldn't eat any of it, and even cooking it for them. And they gave us this shit. We gave them the gold, and they gave us the shit. That's the transition, a symbiotic relationship. And the only solution anybody can tell you, the only clear solution is to get the hell out of that relationship. Get away from it. The father said, no, you don't understand, because he's part of it. He's got rich off of giving you shit for 42 years. He ain't gave you a goddamn thing but shit. And he's rich. He ain't produced anything in the Nation of Islam. Islam is basically probably bankrupt. It's not worth anything. But him and his highest son is a millionaire too. That dumbass. See what I'm saying? And you don't see it? Oh, we love her. What do let's say? Why love dog and give you nothing? Right? Well, I'd be better off getting nothing than getting shit, but right? You understand, brothers and sisters? You understand that out there? And Pharaoh behind, I would say you're going. He getting rich off of you. He got rich off of you. He says he's robbing the nation. It says in Malachi, this stuff is so simple. Who is robbing the nation? He's got rich off the nation. He had to produce a goddamn thing in 40-some years. And plus, he's cursed with a curse. Cancer. Okay, so watch this. Now, see, they look like billionaire, man. I got yachts, everything else. What you got? See, here you are, over here selling drugs and crazy. You look at women, look at the turn of women out. See? That wasn't, see? And wham. And then Suleiman comes. See, that's why I say seek the messenger of the covenant, because he's the only one. Elijah came, all he could do is prepare you to get out of here. They get you prepared to get out of here, like you prepared going to you got to clean up, you got to pack and everything else. But you still got to survive where you are. That's what Elijah's job wouldn't get you out. To prepare to get out of here. But he went seeking, and so Suleiman he had the power to lift you up. That's why he says seeking. He has the power to get you out of here, and he's going to do it. That's if you want to get out. Only ones that want to get out. See? So once that happens, now you're over here. You got your goal. Nobody mess. You ain't transferring. Your goal is your goal. So now you live a gold life. Everything is built. You're building all these beautiful things, everything like you was doing before. Pyramid, all these beautiful things, right? And look at them. They back there, stuck in their shit no more. They ain't getting any more out of gold. All they got is shit. They back to caveman again. This is not just a joke, bro. This is exactly what the deal is. See, they back there, with the little banjo. Hey, I went downtown in Mommy's town and I'm going to buy me some pork chops and give me a little dog. That was their music level. The whole world's rocking to this, the music coming out of black people, and they take it and assimilate it, copy it. They ain't creating it. They ain't creating a new music life form. No one's creating a new music form. The blues, that was us. 50 years later, jazz, that's us. 50 years later, Motown and rock, that's us. Nobody invented anything. Everything took, their rock, all that kind of stuff is just as, like they say, Elvis Presley, I forgot, Chuck Berry was, whatever, he's copying all them. They copying all that. What's Eminem and all them? They invented any of that stuff. They invented any of this music, none of it. They copy it. And now new life, now 50 years later, it's time for a new music form. Because human has to, the music reflect our emotional condition. But that's not what I talked about before. See what happens? Now we home. Now we home, sisters, brothers home with their goal. And left them with their shit, because they can't do anything. That's all they can do. Because that's all they got shit in mind. They can't build anything. They can't do anything with it. Once we separate, we home now. And they back to, that's the best they can do. That's what he did in Dark Age. That's what he did when there was a cage for 2,000 years or whatever it was. See what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. Right? Because I got another issue. But you see what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Not a little issue, but some people know what I'm talking about. Anyway, see what I'm talking about? This is simple mathematics. Now show me anything I said that's wrong. Show me the mathematics that shows that's wrong. That's simple mathematics. And exactly how things occurred. And that's exactly how they end up. They ended back in the caves, like Elijah Muhammad said. Those that survived that far, which is hell. And they got the same much energy we have, but they can't do any more to it because their mind wouldn't allow them to, right? That's the best they can do is kick rocks and eat each other and whatever they're doing. And now all our gold belongs to us. They can't control it anymore. So we build a great civilization, beautiful. Our women, they watch the page now. You think they're going to be there? Brothers, man, they're going to be, this is going to love these brothers, but they're going to get enough, can't get enough of these brothers. Man, talking about the whole man. They're going to be like, and they'll be so protect these sisters. This is going to be, ain't be a war. Brother be, right? Watching every footstep they make sure and not get on it. That's how we protect. We're going to be these sisters. Honey, can I? You need help, sister? Honey? Hold your hand. This is going to get tired after a while. Man, why don't you get out the way, man? I can't do nothing. They're going to get tired after a while. We're going to be so protective of them. like we're supposed to. That's what we always was. We're always going to continue to be. Like, you know how these brothers protect their moms? They can be worse than that. Just going to get mad. Get mad as a wild man. Get the hell out of here. I can't do anything, man. I can't eat food. I go to eat food, you grab the fork and try to feed me. It's beautiful, brothers and sisters. I tell you, the relationship between the original black man and is heaven. It's the best relationship in the world. It's the best interaction in the world. Ever. We've always loved each other. This is an anomaly. This Holocaust thing. But in a way, it teaches us to appreciate our natural affinity for each other. Because before we kind of like took for granted. I mean, that was just the way it was, right? But now, after all this, then we look at it again, man, we're going to, at least the first few generations, but then about 20 generations, our kids going to be back, forgot about all this and everything else, and not going to be, but when you first get there, you're going to really appreciate this because you said, damn, after what you just had, I've been eating shit all my life, now you get some caviar, you're going to appreciate it for it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Okay, I got to go. So I had much more, but hope you understand. Now show me what's wrong. I get $1,000, show me the error in the mathematics here. They can't. That's why they have nothing to say. The judgment comes, the judgment will be harsh, extremely harsh. Like Solomon Nickel. That's Farrakhan. Same thing, giving us shit, giving them gold. Okay, I go ahead and look here. Okay, let me close, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker 7 Seals. Short presentation today, brothers and sisters. A review of yesterday's presentation. The false vision, decision, an American empire. Empire. Loss of empire. What's the signs? Signs are clear, brothers and sisters. But if you're blind, right, it doesn't matter how bright the light is, you can't see. And that's the state our people in right now. But something's going to happen in a minute. You would force to see now what you do. That's sight. That's no question altogether. But you will see. The people sitting in darkness will see a great light. You'll see it. And what you do with it, that's no story altogether. That's your decision. Because we're not here to convince you. I'm not here to convince you. If others want to try to take time to convince you, fine, that's their business. I don't tell people what to do. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just getting information. That's the promise to you. I promise to you was information, right? And information on how to get out of here, to return home. About the covenant, the promise made to you, and information you need to take advantage of that promise. Right? Somebody remind you of the Abrahamic covenant that was made. That was part of the covenant that you'll be made to. Because we know you'll be in darkness. That's why I said people sit in dark, see in the great light. You'll be sitting in darkness. But that's the light. The light is the covenant. Abrahamic covenant. Your identity. Right? Your mind, if you accept it. But you have to seek it and go for it. If you read on Mark, right? You had to go to Christ to get it. You came to him. You came and bowed down. Right? But he had to be present for you to do that. And you came to him and says, you bowed down. Can I have my mind back? You had to want it. He didn't come to you and grab you and say, here, you're mine. You had to want it. It means you had to go to him and get it. So nobody's going to force you or make you anything. Okay? And then once you got it, right, those of you that get it, it's still your choice, because you have to spread it to your people. Because in Mark, the Christ leaves and said, no, you got to stay here. You got to spread that mission to the rest of your people. See? I got the light to you, and you have to go spread it to them. It's up to them during tribulation, where they want to come out of tribulation as right, some everlasting life, or everlasting shame and atonement. It was a choice. You see, it's two types that come out of there. Right? You chose the light. And those that didn't get through. Some get through to darkness. They chose darkness, so they stay in darkness forever. They chose darkness, they stay in darkness. They still delivered. They chose darkness, they stay in darkness. It's a choice, brothers and sisters. In other words, everlasting life. Two groups come out of there. Out of tribulation. It's choice, brothers and sisters. I'm not here to force you, convince you. Just here to give you the light. It says, people sit in dark, see the great light. They see somebody come in begging them, convincing them, and fighting with them. No, they see the great light. Now what to do with that light? They choose the light or choose the darkness. Choose the darkness, then everlasting shame and atonement. Some will choose the darkness. So come on, brothers and sisters. And the false vision, decision, an American empire, and Amalek. So come on, brothers and sisters. Amalek. Now, this question about Amalek, he keeps talking about, in false Israel, Amalek, Amalek, Amalek. They said, see, if you look up Amalek, they told, well, let's go ahead and read it, brothers and sisters. So I'm keep this short. This one, what I did yesterday, right? It's a follow-up. This is what it said about Amalek. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt. Remember, you come out of Egypt. How you come out of bondage. How he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost. No, they attacked you. They attacked the weakest of you, right? Even all that were feeble and behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God. He just came after you. When you was on, by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt. See, but now there's 2 stages here. Come forth out of Egypt, right? First, you got to come out mentally, and then physically. So it starts while you're still in Egypt. So when you recognize, when you get the vision, that's what we're talking about. When you get the vision to leave, because right now you don't have the vision to leave. Farrakhan tell you ain't going anywhere. And anybody with Farrakhan, they demons or outright fools. Because right there, he's calling God a liar. The Abrahamic covenant said, you will, right, here, sojourn, look up sojourn, means temporarily, in land not yours. Now they got all kinds of stupid fools that try to make it this the promised land here. See? They can twist it, turn all they want to. The Abrahamic covenant is one of the clearest, it's the clearest verse in the Bible, the clearest. There's no, you don't have to use a computer, AI, anything. It's the clearest. It's clearest. Even to the fact they refer to as Abram. So why do they call him Abram? Anybody tell you that? Only place in the Bible called A-Y. Was Abraham. What happens to Ham part? Well, who's Ham? That's supposed to be us. Remember, if you read the story, Ham, Southern Africa, so Africa's our Ham. You see? So why do they need the Ham part off? Because that's the part they'll be lost. The land not theirs. And they be calling them Ham. That's what they call us Ham. Being enslaved. Ham was supposed to be enslaved. We've been enslaved for 40 years. See? That's simple. Oh no. And so that's why they don't call Abraham, because his seed would be separated from him. That's what he said. Be separated to the land not theirs. It's right there. It's just a simple little puzzle right there. Abram, and Ham. That's whole. But Ham is the seed of Abraham, ain't it? Ain't it see that word? And it's separated. And then later, in the covenant, he's referring back to Abraham. That means they come back together again. But during the vision, they were separated. Right there, look all the wisdom right there. See, that's why I tell you, you just can't say anything. Because then and no one noticed that before I told you. You don't heard that anywhere. And then you look at it and say, well, that's right. That proves that we just see Abraham. The one that the people that call him. They're going to say, oh, well, those people call by my name and repent and seek I will heal that land. And Farrakhan says us. Well, we're not the ones called by God's name. False Israel is. Talking about them. We don't have a land. Where's our land at? We'll heal that land. We have to have a land to be healed. You see, that's right there. That's bullshit. He's talking. That's talking about them. They're the ones called by name. They're the ones that's filthy and sick and need to repent. Not us. When they repent, all we got to do is decide we want to go home. Accept the light. Accept the heritage. It's yours, a free gift, as it says in the Revelations. It's all yours. You earned it already. You earned it. And you're not guilty of anything. Because you told submit, you did. Submit to people who said, make mission, shed blood. That means you be doing stuff You be obeying somebody who makes men shed blood. That means you be acting inordinate on yourself. Because if you submit to them, you do what they want you to do. And then the whole nature is evil, wicked. So have you acted wicked and evil? So how are you going to tell you submit to that and then blame you for doing it? It says though your sins be black as coal, they be white as snow. I'm not paraphrasing, right? But that's what it says. You're not guilty of anything. If you understand, Israel says, bless those keep their God. You're not guilty of anything. It says, accused of our, who is accusing us of being sinful? That's Farrakhan. The accused of our people are cast down. So who's accused? I'm not accusing you. Elijah Muhammad didn't accuse you. And that's Muhammad didn't accuse you. He said you're righteous people. It's Farrakhan that's accusing you. You're sinful. You're wicked. The son of a devil. And those with him, if you want to argue with them, fine. They come and tell you, oh, his father's a devil, period. Just Google it. Oh, I ain't going to Google it. Well, then tell. That's your problem. See, he got him. So if he, hold on to him. Right? You choose him, fine. The robber of the nation. What does he produce? Unfortunately, nothing. But he's rich. He's cursed, ain't it? And he don't have cancer. Cut all insides out. When you call that a curse, what man would not call that a curse? You cut off from your heaven. You cut from females the rest forever. You're not gonna get no transplant when you get home. We don't do that. So if you got eyes, come. You got ears, come. That's why I tell you that. Tell you ain't get no transplant. If your eyes come, we'll make you see. If your ears come, make you hear. You don't come and say, come here and we'll give you some ears. We ain't no transplant, that's the devil stuff. Right? So if you got what it takes, if you still got your manhood, then we'll get you hooked up with a sister. But you ain't got it. And ain't no transgender stuff going on over there. So you can forget that, you can step here. So maybe that's what's going on with you and Father Flager. I see you kissing the guy's tongue over his mouth. So I mean, is that your boyfriend, Farrakhan? I think that's your boyfriend. In fact, I think you probably got a little orgy going over there. Him and you, him and the rest of them clowns, Ishmael and right. I think Father Flager, he's having fun, boy. He's the man. Right? He's the man. Right? And I know, let me leave y'all. Y'all got some heavy days coming, boy. And they're not very far away. I know you can't see them, right? But you'll see them when they get here. And then you have a whole different message then. Oh, boy, you have a whole message then. And we ain't talking about next year either. As soon as the war starts, do the countdown. Don't think that you're going to say, hey, man, I'll just get rid of myself. No, they said they would seek death and not be able to find it. We got news for you, buddy. Right? But anyway, see, it says, Amalek here, it says they would attack you. So it says, therefore, right, it shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from thy enemies. In other words, you got to be back home and everything. You ain't going to do it while you're here. I try to explain it to you. See, it says, do what anybody has done to you. But see, we're going to have, I tell you, it explains that, but I'm not going to go to that right now, brothers and sisters. It says, right, when you're home and everything, thou shalt blot out the remembrance of them, and thou shalt, it said, don't, in other words, do what them has done to you, blot them out terrible, destroy them. Now, that's not false Israel, because they had no history of them ever being in Egypt. There's no history of it. And they said themselves, the scripture says clearly, all you have to do is follow what scripture says. We follow everything the scripture says. Show me a scripture that nullifies what I'm saying here. Show me a scripture that nullifies it. They told Jesus, we ain't never been in bondage to anybody. And Jesus told me, you ain't to see Abraham. But you don't, but Jesus lied too, right? I mean, that's why Muhammad's lied, God's lied, Jesus lied, everybody's lied according to you. Everybody's lied according to you. We ain't going nowhere, you're calling God a liar. That's Farrakhan. I mean, it says right there, that was a covenant that God made. But you see, that's where he twisted. He takes the first part where you afflict everything. He said that part, but then the part where you get the reward. That's what you see, because it's kind of hard for him to say, because if you're so sinful and everything, why you get a reward for being sinful? Because he said, see, that's his take. We got in this condition because we're so sinful. Then what that Abraham covenant said, just see. He didn't say he was going to judge us. He said he was going to judge us. He said he was going to judge the nation that did that to us. Some of these devils running talking, hey man, I ain't got nothing to do with it. He said he's going to judge the nation. He said he's going to judge Jefferson and Washington and Frank and Hamilton and all them clowns. Benjamin. He said he's going to judge the nation that did this. They're all part of the nation. It's democracy, ain't it? So ain't everybody responsible for whatever country do? Yeah. I know someone asked, why is America the only country that's a corporation? That's powerful, if you understand that one. That means they're responsible for everything America does. And if America's a corporation, that means by their law, right, a corporation, right, it's like a being. So this corporation is guilty of slavery, genocide, death, and there's no statute of limitations by their law. No statute of limitations means if they catch you 10,000, if they catch Hitler 10,000 years from now, they still got to give them, because no statute of limitations. Every time if somebody clone them, bring them alive 10 million years from now, they catch him, he can still be prosecuted for what they claim he did. That's what no statute of limitations mean. It's all clear, brothers and sisters. So if you don't see, that's your problem. You don't want to go through this. You don't want to didn't get on the ark, so you just man drowned. But when the flood came, and everybody, they were saying, I wish I had listened to Noah. They got it right then. But I was the last breath. You don't understand. We ain't here to coddle you. Give you information. Next time your reward, you don't want it. You want. It tells you. You want to sell your reward, like Esau does. Remember, Esau was the rightful heir, right? Rightful heir, right, to the kingdom. The rightful. He was the eldest. Jacob was his twin brother. But Esau didn't care much about that covenant of being the eldest, because that was a covenant. The eldest, right? If you was the eldest, that's what you got. But he didn't care much about it. He sold us out for a bowl of soup. And so then it ended up going to Jacob. Then Esau got mad. But it was too late. And God said, he said, well, you don't care about them covenant, I don't care about you. That's what he told him. I love Jacob. I hate Esau. You don't give a damn about the covenant. That's a sign to you. Right? You want reparation on America? When you got a kingdom that's going to last forever, you got a covenant, you got a promised land that's perfect and pure. It tells you, when you return home, right, you return to houses you haven't built. That stuff they're building on you right now is they're building it for you. That's our land, Arabia. It tells you how stuff will already be built for you when you return. It's all beautiful, but it's up to you. I'm not going to sleep over it, but it says you don't forget it. See, now the Amalek situation, you understand it. They saying that, because remember, it's a revenge thing. It's a revenge. So when did the Palestinians ever do that to the so-called Israelis? When did the Palestinians do that to them? Because they claim that's when they exercised Amalek on them. Read this. Okay? Palestinians never did that to them. So that's not the revenge. Okay? And over here, right? When did we ever do that to these devils? Because Amalek has two sides to it. There and here. It happens. That's why I said what they see it happen over there. They know it's coming here. They're going to know us clearly. Because it said this gospel preaching all the world. That means all resistance is gone. He's broken the resistance. Resonance. Finally broke those walls down. Preaching all the world. Because right now they're doing everything to suppress it. And so they're going to notice clearly. Because this is clear stuff. You have to figure it out. When I'm saying everything is totally clear. Right? So he says, their hearts fell for fear. Those things come upon earth. Right? Because they see it. Same thing happened before us is what's going to happen here. Even worse. Get people heart attacks and stuff. Because they don't understand it clearly. Because this gospel is being preached all over the place. Clearly. They're going to see it clearly. But for them it's going to be strokes and heart attacks. Right? Burns, 3rd-degree burns are carrying on. Fire. Right? So this is a revenge thing. But it's tell you what it says in chapter 13. Do unto them, no, chapter 18. Do unto them as they done to you. That's vengeance. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So when he says mine, but then he tells you to do it, then you must be the Lord. Very clear stuff. Man, even to move from side from that, it's telling you to take vengeance on them. That's what Amalek's all about. And that's the same thing what happened over there. That's why I keep saying America and false Israel are writing their own obituary. Because what they're doing right now is especially with false Israel, what they're doing right now is they setting up this right here, the vengeance. Because what they're doing right now, it's only going to last a couple more days. That's what's going to happen to them. The worm's going to turn, like they say. Table's going to turn. And the place is going to be under siege. And politicians coming after them. There's going to be no food let in, no water set in. It's going to be told. And it says their sons beating their father, and father beating their sons. And it says the whole world going to see it. Going to have those drones flying over with cameras. The whole world's going to see them eating each other in panic, fighting and killing each other. That's what they do, eating each other. They can't get out and do anything. Eating their babies and carrying on. No water coming in. Eating themselves, eating manure and drinking urine. That's what you're going to see over in a minute. And that's what people see. You'll see that's coming here. It's on the way here. At the speed of light. It says that's what's going to be here. It says over here, it's going to be like a woman. That's what a dating woman. You know, some of these devils, they say, oh, so dating, you know. Oh, man, they so like, you know, man, I mean, they can't put lipstick on. They got to have a maid, some put so, they so dainty, man. I can't, right? They say, if she's pregnant, she's going to deny her husband and her children. In other words, she's going to hide the fact she's pregnant or that she's about to deliver from them. She's going to go to a secret place. That's what Scripture says. Secret place and get that baby birth in silence. Now, I don't know. I'm not a female, so that must be hard because every time I seen her, I got several children. There was no silence. But she's going to give it in silence. Birth that child in silence. Because she doesn't want to share that baby with her. Probably not children. They probably already gone by then. I know dogs are gone because they will be dogs and cats here in a minute. They're going. Maybe with some people, some people eat probably their children, eat their own dog. That's how sick they are. Right? But she won't share it, and she's gonna eat it. Eat that child. That's what it says in the Scripture. Let me show you the verse. Then she's doing it secret. I mean, she ain't doing any cooking. Electricity stuff on the shelf anyway. Eat it raw. That's how hungry she's gonna be. Eat it raw. Alive. Now you tell me that's, whoa, you gotta be bad. Well, that's just the start of what's happening over here. It says all the 500 years of all the hell, they walk around like they're holy and pure and everything else, and they've been wrecking this place for 500 years, and they've been wrecking us, murdering us, raping us, beating us, torturing us, and they're sodomizing us and everything else for hundreds of years. And you maintain a system like that with terror. They're a terrorist nation. What I'm saying, tell me I'm lying. Tell me this doesn't make any sense. How do you maintain that condition that we was in without terror? 24/7. So who's a terrorist nation? They terrorize us, raped our women. Come out, Sally and Jefferson was lovers. She was a slave. Oh, she had a choice in the matter? I think we should break up. Really? Is that the case? That's where it was. They're sick people. That's what happened. He was raping her. She was a slave with no love affair. What's she gonna say? I don't feel good tonight. Can we do something tomorrow? Can we take a break? See, this what gonna say? Whip sitting around in the corner. The sick people. Jefferson, Washington, rapists, pedophiles, terrorists. Now people was terrorized. 100 years, then you got these fools walking around, fist bumping and talking to them and happy. They're going to pay a price for that. That's a sin right there. Because you're ignoring your own people and you're ignoring the promise. Because if you found that means you want to stay. Well, that's the Farrakhan stuff anyway. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? Terrorists. So now, for 500 years, what they think, just what they did to us for 100 years, that's what come on them in 1 year. All of what they did to us, you can't imagine that. How can you put 40 years into 1 year? 40 years, you know, like I've been punching you every day for a year. Boom, punch you in the face. Boom. One punch a day. Bam, bam, bam. Then at the end of the year, on 4th of July, or Christmas or New Year, wherever you want, one day, that half a year later, right? I give you one punch that's equal to all the punches, 365. You would survive. How can you imagine that? That'd be worse hit with a Mack truck going 1,000 miles an hour. You see what I'm saying? Because you dammed it up. I'm not going to retaliate. See? So every time you hit me with, say you hit me with a 10-pound force. 10-pound force. Boom. 10-pound force for every day. Every day. So 365 days times that. So 3,650 pounds now. That's how much you build up. 3,650 pounds. So I hit you with a force in here with 3,000. What should that be like? What should that be like? It would be nothing left of you. Like you never existed. Hit you with that kind of force? 365, 3,650 pounds at one time. One punch. Bam. And that's what it's going to be like now. So if you say 400 years, and every day, how many days is that? So, okay, we say they said happened in one year, right? That means what we went through every year, more times 400, that's going to happen all of it in 1 year. 1 year. That's what it'd be the strangest thing. How can you imagine that? That's their punishment. Because you can't escape consequence. So they had no fear of God. That's what it says right here, right? They feared not God. See? Consequence had, it says they have the foot once you're out of it. Because they're not going to get the full consequence until you're out of here. That's what it's telling you. After you out of here, then that's going, right? Because if you read the story about the goat, right, and the children of Israel, right, they depart at the same time the goats come in. When Moses got to the river, see, the Red Sea is the goat, and that Daniel. I'm not going into detail about that, right? But when they got to this, then Moses parted the waters. In other words, the goat, they opened up, let you through. And then that's the consequence came in, rolling in, after you left. See, all these things that fit together. And then the consequence are rolling in. And that consequence, it says, because what it says, look what it says, consequence. Famine, death, all that stuff. That's when you're doing them as it's done to you. That's when it happens. When you roll out, that's, and who, you said, well, I thought you was going to do it. Well, you read going to chapter 17, it tells you. They do it because you command them to do it. So they doing it. They like you said, a hitman out there. He doing. I thought you don't kill. I did. I said hitman. That was the difference. He did it for me. So you add these stuff up together. Learn to add, subtract, brothers and sisters. They're our weapon of vengeance. And when they come in, that's when they're going to come in rolling in. And for 1 year, they're going to wreak havoc on this place like you can imagine. There you go. Okay. Here it is. Get back to her. Listen, as double what she did to her, and cup to her and as many glorified. Okay. See, this is all the things that's going to happen. Mourning, famine, or torment. And that's what happened with the goat. They're the ones going to, at our command, they're going to do it. Right? So get back to her double. Ooh. So in other words, not only are they going to get the 400 years in 1 year, but they get double it. Ooh, with interest. Oh, interest. Why? Because our wrath is so great. See, fuck with the wrong people. Right? Number one, but more than that, our women. And see, we love our women. We're just dumb right now. We're just dumb gorillas right now, but we love our women. Nobody loved original women like the original black man. We love our women right now. We're all messed up. But we love our women. And you know how you know? One way you know it is that I don't know one original black man that don't love his mom. I heard them talk about their dad, but they won't talk about their mom. They love their mom. And they love these. We shouldn't go out there after these devils. That's because they ain't original. They demons. And it's a psychological thing there too. Some brothers just feel bad because they feel they can't protect their women, and we don't work on all that. But once we get our mind back, you're gonna find out how much these original black men love these black women, because they're gonna tear this whole goddamn world apart. And you know what the cry gonna be? You shouldn't have fucked with our women. That's what the cry gonna be. That's the battle cry. Yeah, that's the word they're gonna use. You shouldn't have fucked with our women. We love our women. I don't know if anybody loves black women more than me, but right? They might like me that much. I don't care. I love them. You know, if you love something, you don't care whether they love you or not. If you really love it, right? When I get them home, I understand. And once they understand, once we got our mind back, everybody gonna look around and understand. And they're not going to be blaming each other. They're going to recognize what was done to us. And once that's removed, a seemingly great army. What do you need an army for? Kick ass. It's the battle cry. Okay? That battle cry, for here, the devils, right? Or there's going to be a battle here. Not the battle of vengeance, because they're going to attack us. About defense. But the evil they done to us, we can possibly return it, because our nature's so different. That's why we have to have, let me say this, I never said this before, but it's really hidden in the engine. It's really hidden. I talk about the Mongols and the creation of the devils. Now you understand that. These are called what they use, special ed people, whatever these call them, Mongoloids. Right? They don't call them that. They say, mentally challenged or whatever. Then they call them retarded or whatever. These call them mongoloids. Now, if you understand the whole thing, right, then you know who they are. Okay? But in the angel, they seem to have it backwards. Because they should be on the bottom. See? But they call it death. There's a reason for that. So I'm just going to a little hint on that, right? See? Because if the devils are wicked, they're more wicked than the devils are. They can be more evil than the devils are. If you understand their creation. You see? So what's restraining them? Restrain them. The reason why they restrain, because they have less discipline than the devils do. I shouldn't get into this. I shouldn't do this. I'm going to keep this short. Discipline times energy equals power, right? They're less disciplined. But devils are more disciplined. That means devils can control them. Have more power than them. Do they have more energy than the devils? See all the energy they got putting over there? And they're copycats. They don't have any ingenuity. Innovation, rather. Ingenuity. But the reason the devils have, because they have more discipline, their power keeps them back, hold them back. See? But if you understand the angel key, right? If you understand how the flood came, right? There was a barrier that was holding it back, the flood back. The barrier is a sphere. And then once they move, there's nothing to restrain them anymore. And at that time, right? Remember the devils at that point, they lost their discipline. They don't have the power to hold them back anymore. So they can do more evil than the devils can do. You get it now? Double. That little secret how you kept myself. I believe really now. Think about it. See, these things, they're more wicked. But the point is, because they have less discipline than the devils, they have less power, even though they have more energy. So the devils even hold them back. You see? But the devil's discipline is falling fast. Right? And then what happens? They get in war with each other, and they move out the way. The barriers holding them back. They're not holding them back anymore. And they have no defense to defend themselves because they fight with each other. So they lost their discipline. And these people are worse. That means they can be worse. They can do more evil than the devils do. They can be more evil than the devils themselves, if that's possible. You see what I'm saying? They totally undisciplined. That means they're totally wrecked havoc. See? The flood. So they can do more evil than even the devils can. That's how it's done. Let them loose on them. That's what I call death. That's right. So I guess I kind of dropped it now. Dropped it on you now. I've been holding that back 30 years. I know it's kind of said people say, well, I don't know if anybody paid attention. Because if you understand the Mongolian story, you say, well, why are they there? They said they should be under the devils. Okay, hold on. Oh boy, let me move on, brothers and sisters. So much. But see, the Amalek thing, like I said, was talking about his event. So that's what they're doing right now is about to happen now. They setting the stage for it. They talking about Amalek now, right? They creating that situation. They fueling it. Because what they doing, remember, vengeance, a consequence. So there's a consequence of what they're doing. See, they don't believe in consequence because they're stupid. They don't believe in consequence. And we didn't really push consequence on them because then they were going to do what they did, and we wanted them to do what they did for certain reasons. That's no story altogether. We were advanced. But the point is that if you understand the consequence, that means there's a consequence of what they're doing over there. There's a consequence of what they're doing. If they believe the consequence, they wouldn't be doing that. Because they know we're going to backfire on them. In America, there be a consequence of all of a sudden, all of they done, all of a sudden roll back on them. They don't see that coming. That's where hearts be failing and everything else. Just anticipation. Just anticipation. If your heart failing in anticipation, what's going to happen which heart going to do when it actually happens? Hope you understand that, bro. Let's move on. So, and then on this case right here, right? They're talking about the fake vision. Now Elijah came and gave you this vision. Because you had no vision. When Master Prophet came in, you had no vision. And people without vision was perishing. We was perishing. We had no vision. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know what to do. Right? We just doing whatever Master had us doing. We had with Zook suits and running around doing all kind of stupid stuff. We had no vision. We was walking around in circles. We had no vision. It tells you we was perishing. The people without vision was perishing. And Master Prophet came and found us in that condition. And so he gave Elijah Muhammad the vision to give us. And that's the vision. That's the Abrahamic covenant. A vision. NOI. That was a beacon. I was a beacon. A vision to look up to him. That's what it was. Elijah came and gave us a beacon. Farrakhan's his job is to get rid of that beacon. We ain't going nowhere. He's trying to steal your vision. Because we ain't going nowhere, what's your vision? And plus why, okay, if you so wicked, then why, he said, if you don't repent for what? His so-called man march. That was a lie in itself. Because it was these Negro preachers that set it up, he claimed he got from God. That's why the second was a failure, flop, because they didn't support him on that one. Because 99% of people there was Christian black folks. But he took credit for it, like he's a goddamn liar, thief. That's why the second was a total flop. That's what I'll talk about the second one. If you hit the song out there, everybody's rocking to that song, right? Wow, man, ooh, you rocking, man. And then the guy said, hey, man, Diddy, Mr. Diddy, right? He got another tune out. Oh, you do? And you remember that first one? Man, you would start buying that second one just like that. Bam, because that first was jamming, right? See? So if that first was so great, like Farrakhan said, how come nobody show up on the second one? I ain't buying that. You love that first one. I ain't buying that second one. You ain't heard it yet, but I ain't buying it. Why? No, that don't make no sense. Man, that first was jamming. I'm going to get that second one. Like when Michael, every time he released something, they couldn't wait to get the next one. So Prince couldn't wait because that was jamming. This one got to be a monster. The second one, can't nobody showed up because it was a lot to begin with. Man March. And then when you got there, he did blame you. We got a tone. Tone for what? A tone for what? It's our fault, all this here. Because he's a devil. His father's the devil. He's speaking what the devil's telling him to speak. They own him. His father's the devil. People don't even want to admit that. He says it. He says it himself. We got him saying it. He says his father's parents were white, Caucasian, Portuguese, Jews. This is on his own mouth. So be like, well, man, his father's light-skinned Jamaican. And then all you got to do is Google it, show a picture of his father, and nothing light-skinned about that man. He's white. There's no one, so that's fine. Except hold on to that. Hold on real tight. Don't let go. See? So when it burns your ass, I want you to keep holding on. Because we're not going to rescue. We're not putting water on your ass. Right? You're that damn stupid. There'll be no stupid people in hereafter. No stupid people. Not in the kingdom. They'll be outside. The dogs, like I said, dogs are fools and everything else. And out of darkness. They won't be in the kingdom. So Elijah Muhammad said that. Right? And they said, oh, people start getting the vision. They didn't want that spread. They didn't want it spread around black folks. So he said, the vision. Abrahamic covenant. And then they had this movement with Martin Luther King, and he told them about it. And he said, and Martin Luther King went and said, hey, man, we got a vision, man. Right there, look at there. Look, see, look. Right? There's a beacon out there. Abraham, the Abrahamic covenant. What was the speech? The promised land. He said, I don't know if I get there with you, but he said, I know I'm going to get there. He was talking about the promised land. We got the picture of him with Elijah. And what happened to him? He was dead the next day. They didn't want you to see that beacon. They didn't want you to have a vision. Because he said, if Martin Luther King see that, he could ask people to see it. That was millions. They didn't want you to see that vision. See? Master Muhammad set that beacon up and told Elijah to fuel it with his blood, his life, his works. Fuel it, keep that light on. Light needs electricity, right? He had to provide the energy to do it. His own, as he gave his life for it. He put his life. I keep telling you, that stuff don't happen. Or that was his life that fueled that. He made him the fuel for that light. And Elijah Muhammad kept fueling that light with his own energy. And he kept that light on. And then, oh man, we can't shut that light down. So in 1948, that's what he did. See? Shut that thing down. See? So that's what he did. Boom. They shut down, set false news up there. Took the beacon out, put another light in there. So look up there, oh, that's false Israel. Well, now beacon. And then followed up by getting Elijah Muhammad out of the picture so he couldn't, right? And put Farrakhan in there. He supported that same thing. We ain't going nowhere. That beacon ain't for us. You're sinful, you're wicked. Because he wanted them. Son of perdition said, after working Satan, said Satan would cast out Satan. Ain't that what he said, he cast out Satan? He supported that vision. Because if you ain't going nowhere, you can't be seed Abraham, can you? He said, we're seed Abraham, but you ain't going nowhere. I mean, that's a contradiction, ain't it? The whole point of being a seed Abraham is that you're going to inherit the promised land. But he said, we ain't going nowhere. That's what he had to do. Destroy that. Right? But he said, right? The beacon will be gone, right? But you don't see the beacon. You've seen it. So you're looking for it. You're still looking for that beacon. That's why he's seeking somebody to turn that beacon back on again. See, they've been seeking the message of the covenant. Right? The original one. They want to see it. They're seeking it. Because they know it's a false, something. They remember the vision. See, there was really Elijah, and they remembered the vision, but the vision's gone. They're seeking that vision. They love that vision. They want it. But the vision's been taken away. The light's been out. They want somebody to reignite that vision. Not only reignite it, right? But take it accomplish it. Right? Fulfill that vision. Right? That's what the secret message of covenant. You put these things together, it makes sense. Right? And hold on, I missed something here, bro. Just hold on for a second. That wasn't supposed to be like that. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Wow. Yeah, kind of just, how did I do that? Okay, I'm gonna make a, oops, yeah. I'll make a slight change here, go on system button. I think I deleted that. Let me do it this way. Okay. And okay. Kind of make sure, bro, says, but you get the message. Okay, put it that way. Okay. Not as smooth as I made a mistake, so. But you get the message. So this would, right? And then they be seeking it, and that's what happened. So it's not going to be smooth, but the message of the covenant will come. Turn that beacon back on and take you home. That's why they seek the message of the covenant. Remember, they said message of the covenant. They're fulfillment of the covenant. It tells you right there in Malachi. That's what's going to take you home. Purify you, get you home. Get rid of false Israel. The true beacon. Okay. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay. Let's talk about paradise and energy management. I'm going to close out. Okay. Let me see where we're at here. Okay, hold on for a minute, brothers and sisters. Hold on for a second. Let me. Must have a trouble here. Hold on. Okay, brothers and sisters, let me check something else here right quick. I just want to explain a couple things, brothers and sisters. See, we got to be real. Okay. Now, paradise and energy management. Let's look into this. You see here? This represents the reality we are. That's the capital, this reality. Right? This reality is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. Right? Force is energy. Everything is energy. And so when you see a reality, it comes out of the minds. I mean, their capital didn't go out the ground. It came out of somebody's mind. This government came out of somebody's mind. This economic system came out of somebody's mind. Right? And they gave form. Everything is energy. They gave form. This is the form they gave to the energy. This is the form they gave to it. But you got to understand, everybody gets energies all over the place. Your energy. Everything is energy. But everybody, if you understand pressure, we have pressures. Everybody gets the same amount of energy. So So say, for instance, everybody gets, if we put it in terms of dollars, everybody gets $1,000 a day. Everybody gets the same amount of energy. It's no if, ands, and buts about that. Child's born, he gets $1,000 too. Every living being of us gets the same amount of energy. So you say $1,000 a day, okay, everybody gets $1,000 a day for a child. So if you're a parent, you got 5 children, right? Then you control $5,000 a day worth of energy. You control it. It's theirs, but you control it. So when they tell you shouldn't have children, right? And the more children you have, the more money you control. Because like I said, when I had a whole bunch of children, when I had that mini mansion and everything else, I was rolling in dough because I had plenty of money because I was controlling. But I used that money for their benefit. See, you get somebody, now they control that much money, they use it for themselves instead of doing it for their family. That's another story. But understand that concept. Whether you understand or not, that's the way it works. Right? So devils can save my energy too. But it gets down to how much you need, how much you actually need, and then what they call disposable income, right? So in other words, you make so much money, and disposable income is how much money that you have beyond paying your bills. So you need so much energy to take care of yourself, and then what's left, you can do other things with it, right? So we had energy deprivation, all we had enough energy to maintain ourselves, so we could maintain a civilization, a relationship, anything. We had enough energy to maintain ourselves, and very little even that. So we lost control of ourselves, right? Because we require a lot of energy, because we're the highest form of genetics in the universe, and it requires a lot of energy to maintain that level of structure. But devils, they low level, so they didn't need that much. We like a Lamborghini, they like a Volkswagen Beetle. So they had enough energy. That's why Adam was given rule, because he had more. He had disposable income. We didn't. Right? So now energy, you take energy, and it depends on the level of your structure. So your reality cannot be greater than the structure. So if you got a low structure brain, your mind cannot be greater than your brain. Right? So if you got a low structure brain, that means what comes out of your mind will be a low structure. And so when you saw Europeans back in the Dark Ages, low structure. Other nations were more civilized than them. Low structure, because they're the lowest. Well, I talk about the Orientals, but forget about that. But they're low structure. Low structure. So they build a reality that's low structure. It's going to reflect. It's like a dog. How they build? They build a reality based on the level they understand, like birds and everything else, right? You're gonna build reality based on the structure of your brain. That's you understand what I'm saying? So they build this reality. So I'm gonna go into this. That's how kind of difficult to understand this structure, brothers and sisters. I'm kind of jump. Well, I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it in a minute. Let me just do the basic here. So this is the structure. When you look at this America right here, is a structure that came from them. Now, when you build, remember, everything's energy. So you take and build something, but you got to maintain it. So otherwise, it just disappears. Remember, you built the structure, but you got to fuel it. So you keep getting energy. In other words, you get 1,000 units a day, and so you build your reality, right? And if your reality is like $600, took $600 a day for energy, you got to keep putting $600 in it to keep it going. You got to fuel it. You understand? Otherwise, it dries up, dies. You got to fuel it. You got everything's energy. To keep it this form, you have to keep on giving it energy to maintain the form. So it takes America, they have to keep on the energy they have to keep the form they have right here. But see, one of the problems is that's why they fear us so much, because we're doing the same thing too. But they lose control of us. So that means we're going to cover a different reality than they have. Then you got a conflict between the realities. And when you got a conflict between the realities, what happens? They have to use more and more energy to maintain their reality. So it gets harder and harder to do it. See, so in other words, they got $1,000 a day, for instance, and okay, and you $600 made just to maintain that, right? Okay, fine. There's another reality company. Okay, now you got to resist. So now you got to pay $300 or $200 to maintain the right. Suppress that. So now you only got $300. Say you had $600, right? Or say $7. So and you get $700 a day, right? But it takes $300 a day to suppress the other one. So you got 4. So now this starts crumbling, right? Because it takes 700 to maintain it. So you only got 400, so it starts diminishing. Hope you understand that concept, right? So we'll get more into it in a minute. So here it is. This is the reality that the Europeans over here, right? They got to fuel it. See, it's hard and hard and hard. That's why they're in debt and everything else. Because because they got other realities that's a challenge to this, challenging it. So they have to suppress those because those came in, that's going to kill this. Earth is not so big. So it'd be one dominant reality, and the strongest reality is the most dominant one. So if other realities start growing, there's going to be a challenge to this one. So then these guys start directing some of this energy to suppress them, which means have less for this, so this start crumbling. Hope you understand the concept, brothers and sisters. Anyway. So then, a challenge comes. In 1990, a new reality comes. That's the angel. Make all things new. Revelation, the great light. He shows up in 1990. That's the beginning of a new reality. That's challenging this reality with the people that they have under control here. So what happens? So now, right, he's starting to build that, fueling that reality, energy. With his own energy coming, using that energy to fuel that. He has to fuel it. So if he gets $1,000 a day, he put $1,000 a day into this reality, new reality. He's fueling. If he only put 200, then 100, then don't that much. But if he put it all in, then you see, start. It's like you got a water, a lake, and it's solid, it's smooth, solid, right? It's not moving, motionless. Then you throw a rock in it. Once it got waves, you change the reality of that lake. You understand? But if you want to keep that reality going, you got to keep throwing a rock in there. Because if you don't, you stop. It settles back down again, right? So if you want to keep the new reality come in, right? Got a lake that's waves all the time. That's new reality. You got to keep on throwing a rock in there. You got to keep fueling it. Otherwise, you stop. The lake goes back to where it was before. And that's a simple analogy, but that's pretty much the way it works. And boom, it blows away that reality. Because high pressure overcomes low pressure. So if he comes with a new reality that's higher pressure than the old one, he blows away that reality. That's happening right now. Right? And then what? Then his reality comes in. Higher pressure reality overcomes lower pressure reality. Other pressure reality is going, the new reality. Right? What happened there? Okay? Covers the whole planet. It's new reality. Got rid of old reality. Okay? Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I hope you understand that concept. That's what's happening right now. That's the way it always happens. They send one prophet in with a higher reality mind, a higher pressure mind. That's what scriptures are. Scriptures are minds. Like if you got a version 19, version 2001 Windows, they come out 2010. They don't support 2001 anymore. 2010 blows away 2001. And while one word, you don't support, you gotta get rid of it. Because now you got a new version. Same thing. Scriptures are minds. That's why they give you scriptures revealed. And that's how they send one person. They don't need to send one person. Because the mathematics says high pressure overcomes low pressure, no matter how small high pressure is. High pressure could be just big as a small balloon. But if you put it right, if you put it in water, it's going to move the water out the way because it's higher pressure. If it's high pressure, it's going to move. I don't care if it's a ocean or whatever. If it's high pressure, it's going to move. There's no exception. High pressure overcomes low pressure. And scriptures are minds, and that pressure, that energy, that force. And so they come in with it, and that's why, right, when Moses came in, he was able to remove that, the empire that existed before that. Jesus came in, right? The Roman Empire, he defeated that. You see the remnants of it in the Catholic religion, but he defeated the Roman Empire. Right? You see? And then Prophet Muhammad came in, right? And he defeated the Catholic Empire. Put it down for 1,000 years. And then Adam came along because in his deprivation, right? The new world on earth, he put down all of them. He put down, it was called some Jews that was called themselves following Moses. People say they were following Jesus, and people that following Muhammad. He put them all down. Adam put them all down. His presence was higher than theirs. The scripture he had was higher, and he put them all down. That's right. I put a rule. They rule. Who been ruling the earth? Who been ruling the earth for 400 years? It ain't been the whole world. They try to say, Sunni said the whole world. No. Only 2 empires been ruling the world for the last 5 years. That's America and Britain, Gog and Magog. Our chapter 20. That's they would see the whole world, and that's one of the major exceptions right there. The chapter 20 is in the future. No, that's European history. And they came out and they see the whole world. 2 empires. Only 2 world empires you know of in all history. The Mongolians or Genghis Khan wasn't a world empire. Caesar wasn't a world empire. Napoleon wasn't a world empire. Alexander, so-called Great, was not a world empire. No other people was world empires. Only world empire was first was Britain, like it says the Ram and Daniel, and then the one that comes last was Greater American Empire. 2 world empires, as Gog and Magog. Period. So this stuff is very simple, but it said they're perishing because they refuse to accept the truth. Well, probably because they got low brain. The demons, they can't accept it, and if they did accept it, it would be against them. The others, low brain structure. We don't care, because it says, many will be called and few be chosen. So you get the light, but we choose you. You don't choose us, and we choose you based on your response to the light. Your response to that's how we choose you. It's your response to the light. Okay? If you walk around the light and you walk around the circle, you're blind. We don't want you. Understand that. So let's look at this. I'm missing something here, bro. Hold on a second. One second. I think I missed something here. 1 second here. Just give me a second. Yeah, put that in. Yeah, I did miss something. Where is it at? Oh, that's why. It was in the right place. Okay. Let's see what happened. Okay, I'm going to move it around. Over here. I'll go into that. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering what's happening, but okay. Okay. Okay, feeling of paradise. But first, before I do that, let me show you this. You see this right here? This is what I'm talking about initially. Remember I said you got to fuel. Okay. Now I show you when your mind will come, your reality is based on the mind you have. So if you got a weak mind, you have a weak reality. If you got if you got a real low class mind, you're going to be. Maybe I should say this. You know, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna get off track here. If I go out with a long explanation, the point is that if you got a low grade mind, right? Say real low grade mind, then your reality is going to be so maybe maybe you're living out on the street someplace. Well, that's not a good analogy. Living out in the woods or something, right? Or like you know, like in Europe, the architecture was really bad. Everything. I mean, they didn't have anything. They had to go out and they went around all the world trying to learn how to do this, learn to do that, because the mind level was low. You know, architecture and all that stuff. They got them every place else. Remember Marco Polo and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to a better analogy. If I got good at analogy, but it's going to take me an hour to explain it. So in other words, say you got a very simple mind, right? So for you, right, 5 plus 2 is 7, right? The more complicated mind might say, well, 2 plus 2 plus 2 and 1. I mean, a little complicated, right? Or maybe 21 divided by 3 is 7. I mean, it's more complicated. It'd be more complicated. It can still come up to 7, but it's more complicated, right? So therefore, their structure, their technology, everything was on a very low level in Europe, very low level. They didn't take baths, right? There's disease. I don't know about warnings, what warnings came from and stuff like that. It was very low, right? The way he was living, it was very filthy, right? Because in mind, right? Everybody else was doing better. So they try to make the Dark Ages was the whole planet. No, it was just Europe. Okay? Because remember, they're on the lower level. You got the nations, and they got the simplest mind of all. So therefore, I came out with a simple, their civilization very simple. Just like even the Roman legions, I mean, remember, they had energy and power, but they was very simple. I mean, the way the army set, the squares, the rectangle, you know, and that's why Hannibal was able to defeat him, because he had a more complex mind, and he had a small army, but he was able to they couldn't beat him. People don't understand. Hannibal was an original man out of what's his name? Carthage, and Carthage was in Africa. So they don't tell you that part. And he was beating them and beating them and beating them with a smaller army. And he used mathematics, geometry to do it, if you understand. They still study him at West Point now. See? Because they had a very simple way of thinking, but they had power, so if you got power, even, you know, I mean, if you got power, right, and somebody don't have power, they could be wiser than you, but if they don't have power, then you right? It's like if you're out there and you smart, everything else, right? A lion don't ain't smart as you, but he could tear your behind apart if he can get a hold of you. If he has more power than you have. Anyway, I don't want to get too complicated. So what I'm saying is, I don't know, I should go back to that, because this is just out of place here. What I'm saying is that, say for instance, okay, if you got a simple mind, and all you know how to do is build shacks, but you have money. So you hire somebody that knows how to build buildings and say, okay, I give you money. They'll build the buildings for you. You don't know how to build it. They'll build it for you because you got the money to do it. So you say, you build it for you. So they come out of your mind, come out of theirs, but you had the money to get them to do it. As long as you got the money to do it, they build a reality that's greater in your mind. Didn't come out of your mind, it came out of theirs, but actually it did come out of your mind in a way because you're the one that hired them to do it. So that's part of your, right? It's still your reality because it's filled with your money. Okay? But the quality of it is greater than your ability because you have someone else with a greater quality mind to produce a greater quality reality. You understand that concept? Your reality becomes higher quality than you would have done because you found someone that had a higher quality mind and you had enough money to pay them. Remember, you're still fueling it to build a higher quality reality than you would have been able to do. So when you see here, you look at America. America's been able to build a high quality reality than all other Europeans. Now America, you the innovation say, well, Americans are so smart, right? Europeans so smart. White folks so smart, and everybody else, right? So say. But if that's the case, how come Germany's almost all white? How come they don't have an innovation? All of Europeans just copy what they get from here. How come everybody's copy what they get from here? So there's something strange about these white people here. They're wise than all the white people in the world. You know, most of the Europeans that's here, Google it. I was surprised to find out myself years ago. Most are from Germany, not from England. That throws you, but that's the fact. So, coming over here made them extra wise or something? They got innovation? Because Germany just copied what they got from here. England just copied what they got from here. All these other countries just copy this innovation that comes out of here. So why is that? Everybody's copying what comes out of here. So what's the difference between them and here? Us. We got the high quality mind. See? And they pay us. Oop, did I say that? They pay us. Right? I mean, one of the only secret, Washington D.C. was supposed to have been designed by a black person. That's what they say. Are you Google? That's what they say. A black architect. But see, they have control of our energy. So it's like they paying us, they got control of our, remember they got control of our energy. Because we don't have control of it. So therefore, we work for them. Because actually, when you was in the slaves, you was an employee. You've been an employee the whole time you're over here. They just changed the name now to employee. But when you was a slave, it's the same. You was an employee. You was working for them. They changed the name to make you think you feel better. You're still a slave. But we had a high quality, but they had control of us. So they was able to build all this innovation, everything that came from our minds. But they control us, so they control our minds, right? They gave us their minds, but it came from our brains. Our innovation came from our brains. That's why they don't want us to leave here. That's why Pharaoh says, hey, don't let them leave. See? The whole thing's about creativity, if you understand it. That's what's going on here. As long as they control us, that's why they have an innovation, because it's coming from us. But they control us. And they lose control of us, then we're going, and also they go back to the simple mind stuff. They can't, no more innovation. And now we're over there doing all this great innovation. How do you think we think that's going to work? See, one of the little hints there, they told us that we could no longer make bricks out of straw. You could still have to make, but you couldn't make out of straw. That's the scripture telling you, you have to be creative, that you're the creative force here. Who is the creative force to help them survive? Joseph. Joseph was us. Remember they enslaved his people. After Joseph showed them what to do, they didn't know. They was about to starve to death. And then that's us, Joseph us. We were still in slavery, and then they enslaved his children, his people. We the ones so that's what's happening here. Okay? Because we're taking the energy. Remember, they got to give us energy. They control our energy. They mean control energy. In other words, you get $1,000 a day, but you're under my control, so I give you $1,000 a day. But I don't give you $1,000, I give you $1,000 worth of beans, or still $1,000. I control the nature, quality of that $1,000 I give you. Right? And $1,000 shit farm is equal to $1,000 gold mine. It's still worth $1,000. But I say you can only buy a shit farm. See, so I'm controlling You still get $1,000 as far as consequence concerned. You get $1,000 for this shit. $1,000 worth of shit. See? So since they control us, they control the nature of the energy that we get. So they give us $1,000 shit farm every day. $1,000 pile of shit worth $1,000. I mean, shit is worth something. What do you think fertilizer is? So you get $1,000 worth of fertilizer, $30 worth of shit every day. Okay? And what you do with fertilizer? You plant and you produce vegetables and stuff with it. You may not understand, you might like it. That's where it happens. We think that stuff comes from. They put fertilizer. Now they use chemicals and stuff, but that's where before all that. That's where you put animal dung and everything else in the ground. All your manure put in the ground. That fertilize the ground, and the seeds that's what seeds grew off, used to grow, and then grow your fruit that you can eat against recycling. You shit in the ground, the seeds turn that shit back into food. You shit again, going around. That's it. That's just the way it is. And so it's a symbiotic relationship, and that's what's going on here. See? Because we creative, we turn shit into gold. It's like, right? The seed turns shit into cabbage, pickles, like cabbage or cucumbers or whatever, right? The seed turns it into that, right? And you eat that stuff and you turn back into shit. Shit goes in the ground, seed turn it back, you know. What's happening here? That's what he's doing with us. We're the creative force. We don't want others' innovation. Okay? So we turn it into gold for them. And they turn the gold back into shit, and that's what they feed us. So we live in the ghettos and everything else. Because we allowed them to control. That's why we got to get the hell out of here. Listen to goddamn Farrakhan, because that's the relationship here. They control our energy, so we keep getting $1,000 worth of shit. We could be getting $1,000 worth of gold, but we get $1,000 worth of shit. That's what they give us. They shit it out, and we give them the gold. They turn this shit. You know, when we was in the field, right? We go out there and work our ass off and produce food and all that nice stuff for them, right? And so they sat back eating caviar and steaks and ham, whatever else they eating, right? And what they gave you? Shipments. Which is shit from pigs, stuff they used to throw away. They gave you garbage. They gave cow chips. That's where this thing comes from. Potato chip stuff from. You don't even know it. Just like you call it chillers now, and Walmart sells it because people still buying it. That's what they called it back there when you was in the fields. Chillers, because that's what it is. But then when you got out, they said, these niggas, they might pick up on that. So let's change the S and put a C there. Still the same damn now, just because they change the letter, it's still shillings. Yes, they did. And they give you shit. So you was out there working your ass, and they fed you. You didn't handle this shit. They showed Django. You sitting back in a home. You had a fireplace. That didn't happen that way. I guarantee it didn't happen that way. Even Oprah tell you that. To Oprah letters, it didn't happen that way. They lock your ass up in a little closet, like a room outside, where it was cold and everything else. Whole family in there. If you had to go to the bathroom, you did it on each other. So you would run away at night. You had no fireplace. You had no home. You had none of that. Barely had any clothes. Clothes you had was rags and everything else. They gave you shit, but you was putting caviar and steaks and wine and everything on their plate. And you was getting pissed and shit and everything else on yours. That's relationship. And you're still doing it right now. Because you're still an employee and you're still a slave right now. You go out there, you work at Popeyes, brushing your ass all day long. They sit back on the ocean, on their yacht and everything else, partying, watching video, whatever. And you could barely make enough. Because that's what capitalism, maximum profit, minimum overhead. That means the less they got to pay you, the more profit they make. That's what capitalism is. Capitalism is slavery by definition. So they get you to work, and unless they pay you, and when that slavery, don't pay anything. Just give you enough to keep you alive. In fact, initially, they wouldn't even give you enough to keep you alive. Because if you read the story, they said that the average life expectancy for a black male was like 3 to 4 years. They worked so hard. We saw pictures of old people. That was 30-year-old man. Looked like 90 years old. They worked you to death in 3 or 4 years. Then they had to bring you somebody to replace you. They didn't even. That's how they did it. This is a fact. I'm not making this up. And then you fist bump. They did that to our relatives, our ancestors. You don't give a damn about them. You fist bump. Hey, bro. And calling them bro. God damn. You must be a goddamn demon. You must be one of them. How the hell are you going to take... They rape your mom and you going to be friends with them? Oh, that was my grandma. Oh, sir, they was always raping your grandma. Well, what was my great-grandma? Oh, it was all right to rape your great-grandma. Oh, it was great-great-grandma. It's all right to do that, right? And all the stuff they was doing to them. And if you was back there and they was raping your sister, your mama, and raping you, and beating you, working you 24/7, terrorizing you all, you never got no sleep, right? Terrified you 24/7. They fed you shillings, and not in the plate, in a trial, just like a pig. Even ask Oprah, she got her papers, they tell you the same thing they got from the slaves before they died, they did interviews with them. And you looked ahead, and saw, oh, that's Jimmy Jackson. And Jimmy Jackson, that's your future relative, right? I love these. Hey, bro. Hey, what's going on, bro? Hey, bro, what's got them man? Let's hang out, man. Let's go watch the game together. And you get hold of your hands on that nigga? When you crush us to pieces, you look ahead, you doing this and that. You look ahead and see that's how he's carrying stuff after what you going through. What if you was back there, is that what your reaction? Oh, one day they're gonna get along. One day them and Master gonna be buddies. He gonna marry one of Master's girls, children, girls, daughters. That's how your reaction be? Because if that's your reaction, you're gonna get a chance to feel it. See? Y'all don't know about the tyrant. I told you, Elijah Muhammad told me about that, but I ain't a message back, man. This situation right here, brother and sister, and you laying back, man, just satisfied with the shit and producing them gold. Satisfied with getting shit, and you producing gold for him. He turn the gold into shit. That's what you getting. Shit life. Do what they tell you to do. Their laws. Cats make laws for cats. If you're a dog, you in cat land, you're gonna be in trouble. You're a criminal because you act like dogs. The law is made to act like. If you don't act like cats, you're in trouble with the law. You're gonna be oppressed there because you ain't gonna be happy. Because if you try to act like a dog, hey, what you woofing for, man? We got a law against woofing. We got a law against wagging your tail. See, because cats don't do that kind of stuff. So the laws they make is for them. And if you start to act like yourself, you're going to be in trouble here. You're a criminal. That's why you're scared of them. That's why you keep their name. Here it is, they gave you a name. They took your name away from you, beat it out of you. And now you're supposed to be free. And you're a slave to Jimmy Jackson. So they was calling you Michael Jackson, Jimmy Jackson, Jonah Jackson. Means that you was owned by Master Jackson. So now you own them, but you still walk around with that damn name? It's like a woman should get divorced from someone. I mean, I divorced from Mr. Johnson. What's your name? My name is Mary Johnson. Well, I thought you divorced from him. Why you still carry his name? Did you divorce him? Why you still carry his name? No, because you're still a goddamn slave. You're still scared of master. That's why you walk them names. Unless you're a demon, then that is your name. That situation, boss, that's where we are right now. That's going to break. Now, those who want to keep eating shit, they're going to stay and keep eating shit. The rest of us getting out here. And we're going to start, we're going to keep the goal that we making. And get them the shit. Because they wouldn't have this if it wasn't for us. That's going to keep us here. That's why all innovations coming out of here. Another sign of this AI, right? All this AI age come in. Now, they know you're best qualified. One of the reasons why I know you're best qualified because I'm going to give you a short version of this here. They got a thing called SIC codes, Standard Industrial Codes. And every time a new innovation comes, a new what I want to use, I'm going to try what's what I want to use here. A new industry. New industry comes in, right? Like the Industrial Revolution, right? Okay, it had machines they didn't have before. So the industry come in with computers. So the government takes and goes to a demographics to find out what people, like would be women or children, whatever, who'd be best qualified for the industry, so he can start teaching them, so they can be ready for the industry to come in and work on it. But surprise, 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 and this is a fact because I went through the program. They found that black folks was best qualified to do computers. And they connect with music. Now you might think music is nothing, but you know something? It takes a lot of creativity to come to this music. They come with Beethoven and sing and Beethoven and what was his name? I forget, right? Santana or whatever, right? This music, the world of rock rock music, it takes a lot of creativity to come to that music. Look at that music. Somebody that comes so smooth and beautiful, but that's music is mathematics. And so, the black folk music is ruling the planet. And the same mathematics that take the pure music is the same kind of mathematics that takes the right computer code. You didn't know that. I said that was my business for years. I had my own business writing computer code. Didn't have a degree of nothing, and I was killing them. I was the best at what I was doing. Because I'd go to a place and say, man, damn, you got a good record, but you don't have no degree. I said, what do you want? I said, you want somebody with a piece of paper, you want somebody to know how to do it. And that was case closed. And it was always calling me to fix systems that they had white boys build, and then after they left, the damn thing didn't work. So I always had to come and fix it. Because I don't know. And one of the big tells is that that's a new industry. It's a powerful, one of the most powerful industries there in the world, right? In the world right now, right? So how come they got to bring Indians over to do it? Because they didn't want you to do it. Reagan shut that program down. Quiet to the program. I went to the program and started teaching black folks programming. Urban League was the one that sponsored it. IBM was the one that provided the technical stuff, right, and the teachers, right? And they had a contract with the surrounding government, surrounding manufacturers, that the top 10% of that class, they would hire them. That was the deal. I came out first in my class, I went through a program. They actually paid you while you was going. You went for 3 months. And Reagan said, man, we can't have them doing that, because then we lose control of them. All of a sudden, they be running everything, because that's a powerful industry. Called Standard Industrial Codes. Look it up. If you work in a place, you have one. You just don't know it. If you're doing tax, ask your tax guy. He probably tell you what yours is. Standard SIC codes, SIC. So I'm not making this up. I went through it. And Reagan shut that down and started bringing Indians over here. Because they couldn't do it. How come they couldn't do it? How come they can't get their own people to do it? They've been around homeless and working and doing menial jobs and everything else. Why they got to bring all these Indians to do it? Because they can't do it. They don't have the ability to do it. It's above their ability. Who's beating them? China's beating their ass. Everybody's beating their ass in the computer industry. They got to bring Indians over to do it because they don't want you to do it. Because I remember when they tried to do it, they said, just like they did with the karate thing, right? See, this is the media. See, they had you, this Bruce Lee thing, they had everybody black. I remember back, every black, man, they was, Chinese, most of them don't know anything about no karate. In fact, they don't even call it karate, they call it boxing over there. But they came and had Bruce Lee. So everybody thinking, man, all the Chinese, and you wouldn't get no argument with Chinese because you thought you were going to get karate. You wouldn't get no argument with no Chinese or Japanese person, you thought you were going to get karate. And 9% don't know anything about no damn karate. But that's the media had you fooled. You were scared. Oh man, you think all them countries fool you. But now, they got away from that because